Hello and welcome back to my next YouTube video in my Project Diablo 2 video series. In this video, we're going to be discussing loot filters, what they are, what they help you with quality of life wise, the things that they highlight, and the different loot filters that are available. So, getting directly into the loot filters. From the loading screen, or should I say the launcher of Project Diablo 2, you may recall in the previous video we talked about having the three extra buttons down here. We have the play button, the options button, and the item filter profiles. The item filter profiles is the one that we want to select for today. The loot filter that I'm currently using on my characters is the EQN relaxed filter. There are a variety of other filters that are available, and you can kind of try them out for yourself and see which one fits you the best. I personally use the EQN relaxed, and I also recommend it. Once you have your filter selected, you'll go ahead and launch the game. As you can see, my game is already launched behind me, and so we're able just to go directly into the game. So the benefits of having a loot filter are the fact that when you're clearing content at a fast rate, there's going to be lots and lots of items dropping on the ground, and it can clog up your screen very quickly. The benefit of having a loot filter for this is that you're not missing any really good items. So for an example here, this is a 15% enhanced damage phase blade with 5 sockets. So, if I actually were to drop this on the ground, you can see that my loot filter sends me a message in chat as well as has a highlight around the item itself. It's telling me that it has 15% ED, it has 5 sockets, and that it is possible to be made into a rune word. The colors that you see next to it have different meanings as well, and it changes from loot filter to loot filter. As well, if I were to drop a ethereal shadow plate that has 4 sockets, it'll tell me first of all that it's ethereal, little E, that it has 4 sockets, and the little green dot with the EQN relaxed filter means that this is a valuable item for gold. There are a few different uses for gold in the game that they've gone ahead and added, so if I were to try to sell this to Charcy, it'll tell me that it's worth 35,000 gold, which is of course the maximum amount of gold that an item can sell for in hell difficulty. The next thing that we'll talk about is how runes show up in different loot filters. If I were to drop a Ral rune on the ground, it'll just tell me there's a Ral rune. It's the 8th rune in the sequence of runes, as there are a large amount of runes, and that there's 24 of them in this stack, because as we talked about in the last video as well, the runes are stackable. So if I drop a Ral rune and a Mal rune, so a Mal being a rune that's quite a bit higher, it is 23rd, you can see already that there is quite a distinct difference both visually as well as in the chat box again, further alerting the player that a more valuable thing has dropped. If I were to leave the medium rune on the ground and to drop a higher rune such as a Sur rune level 29, you can see it gives quite a flare to the Sur rune. It makes the text box a little bit larger and gives some extra colors, really catching your eye, making sure that you're not going to lose this on the ground. Something else that the loot filter does do is it actually hides items from you. So if I were to drop a key on the ground, the key is still there on the ground, however, the name is blocked out. Same with things such as a thawing potion. However, if you were to use a superior mana potion, it actually shortens it, so it's just a capital M. So a superior or a greater mana potion or a super mana potion, as you may recall. So it actually just shortens the name of them, so it's not taking up as much space, and if it's a capital M, it means it's a super mana potion. If I drop a full rejuvenation potion on the ground, it'll say that it is a IV full rejuve. If I were to drop something such as a world stone shard on the ground, it also has a different color. These are things that we'll get into at a later time. Another really interesting thing to note is the charms. If you were to drop a cold resist life small charm on the ground, this is going to be a charm that has 20 to life and some resist on it. It'll note right there that it has cold res, it has life, and it's a small charm. What you can actually adjust later on as well to show the exact parameters of the charm itself. Loot filters also will entirely hide items from showing up on your screen. So if I were to go somewhere such as Act 3 and just start killing stuff, you may notice that some monsters don't drop anything at all. This isn't because there's no loot to be had, this is just because there's no loot that the loot filter deems necessary of picking up. The important thing to note as well with loot filters is that the higher level you are, the more it will hide from you, as the loot filter kind of deems what is and is not necessary to pick up. So obviously my Necromancer is level 93, so some of these items aren't going to be worth my time to pick up, therefore it completely hides it from sight. So things such as keys that are dropping thawing potions, they're still in the game, they're still there, the loot filter is just hiding them at certain parameters of your levels so that they're not clogging up your screen. The only way for these to actually end up showing up on your game is if you were to drop them yourself. You can see them on the ground, however their names are blocked out. If these were to drop from a monster, these would not be showing up at all. Thank you for watching my YouTube video today on item filters in Project Diablo 2. In the next video, we'll start outlining some of the changes and differences in characters between Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction and the mod Project Diablo 2.